Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms chats. So we're sharing the information that families need to know to get their kids a great education, whether they're here in San Antonio or beyond. And I'm so excited that we have a special guest today. Monique Robinson is the founder, CEO of A Better Chance for Youth Futures, Inc. So we put that up on the screen. A Better Chance for Youth Futures, Inc. It's also abcyouthfuturesinc.com on the internet. And so Monique, tell us about your scarf. I'm really excited about this.
Well, this is my alma mater. Actually, it's a Wilberforce University scarf. My parents, I'm what you would call a legacy graduate. My parents are both alum of Wilberforce as well as other family members. So we always give each other things. Like if I go home, I'll give them a shirt. So this time I went, they gave me this beautiful Wilberforce scarf. So
it is beautiful. Yeah. So we before we went on the air, they're telling me about the history of Wilberforce University, that it's one of the oldest, or maybe the oldest historically Black college or university. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Wilberforce was found and owned and operated by free slaves. So it was owned and operated by African Americans in the town of Wilberforce, Ohio, which is outside of Xenia, Ohio. So if you've ever been up north, I would say it's about 45 minutes from Dayton, Ohio, and probably 30 minutes depending on how you drive from Cincinnati, Ohio. But actually the historic value is Wilberforce is separated, is a church school. When church and state split, Central State, which is our sister school, is like we love them. We can pick on them. Can't nobody else pick on them, but they're exactly across the street. So if you hear someone say, well, 42, I had to walk across 42. Yes, a highway separates Wilberforce and Central State.
Well, it's beautiful that you've got your pride you can share with your scarf, talking about your alma mater. And, and that's a big part of what, A Better Chance for Youth Futures does, is that you and your team, you're helping, like the way you described it to me was, and I should mention there's a blog post, a guest post that Mika and I collaborated on. And if anyone watching the video, you want to read the blog post, which I encourage, click on the link in the description of the video and that will take you to the blog post. So, and there's some great pictures and like links to events and all that good stuff. So, but as we were like collaborating on that, you were telling me about, that when you came to San Antonio, you realized that there really wasn't that much awareness about the HBCUs, and that you feel like this is a missed opportunity because HBCUs have a very nurturing environment for students, and they give students a chance who might otherwise, they might get discouraged about college.
It does. I haven't been in San Antonio long. I've been here, I would say, 4 to 5 years, and I was in the school system. And being in the schools, I noticed that, yes, it is not a very big presence. And it wasn't a big presence, honestly, until our vice president disclosed the information of being an HBCU grad. Then everybody's on the bandwagon. Not to knock that. No, I'm excited and that's what the case is. But still, there are some gaps that we need to fill because our schools are precious. And I will, yes, I have advanced degrees, but home is always home.
That's right. Yeah. So can you kind of give us, like, in a nutshell, like the mission of ABC Youth Futures, like the vision, like what you're trying to create with that?
Okay. Our mission is we are highly advocates for historically Black colleges and universities. Our number one goal is to expose the scholars to the schools so that way they have a fair playing field of where they want to attend school. And there's a lot of scholarship money that goes away and unnoticed, mainly for our minority scholars because they are not aware of what HBCUs have to offer. And, we also have a program to where we introduce them. We let them know about the schools. We have admission counselors that will come on and talk to them. And that's where much of our success has been in dealing with our nation's HBCUs. And like, we always reach out. We have several schools to pull from. We have a lot of people in the community in various parts of the states, not just Texas, but we have people that are willing to say, hey, I like your mission. How can I help? And we're all for it. Because like we talked offline, our team isn't that big, but we make it work.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you were explaining to me is that there's a large alumni network of HBCU alumni, like all across the country, right? There's some in San Antonio, there's some across the country, and there's organizations like the United Negro College Fund has an alumni group. And can you tell us more about that?
Yes, the UNCF has a big alumni group, and if you don't have certain chapters or certain things, we also have the Inner Alumni Council where you can just join in and help. Like this weekend, we had the Walk for Education, and although I was extremely tired, and people were like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Look, I've been on broadcast, just like from place to place, but." The passion in getting our kids the funding they need and getting our kids the experience that means the world to me. I can show up and be tired, but hey, if my kids is getting taken care of, I will find the energy somewhere. So but that's what we do. Like the things that we have as an organization, like this weekend we have, even though the seats are almost gone, we're taking a busload of people or to go see the game, the Cotton Bowl. And we're going to keep doing different types of events like this because the exposure is necessary. You can't talk about something you never experienced. And that's how I look at it. And I can't be judgmental if they haven't been exposed. So what I do is create opportunities. So that way, if you tell me, no, you don't want to go, you have a valid reason. Or you're telling me, no, you don't promote HBCUs, then I can say, hey, look, this is what we have to offer to make the game, the fair playing field.
Yeah, it's so important. Like, somehow like to get the conversation started. And I feel like that's kind of what SHR Moms does, about like, we're targeting like families with maybe 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, or maybe they're trying to choose the middle school or the high school. And we want them to be aware that, there's more choices out there, right? There are great neighborhood schools in San Antonio. But if your child needs something unique, there's great schools of choice out there. And we're trying to be that source of information. And sometimes you got to get creative, right? Like we're planning some school discovery days, so people can talk in person with schools. And it's like, but I'm so impressed. Like, I feel like, ABC Youth Futures, like you guys, like you have all these events, you're sticking your neck out and just saying like, okay, you're not going to have the excuse that we haven't tried to tell you about these things. And, and I see the newsletter, it's just packed with all the things that are going on.
And we work extremely hard. And most of the people that are on my team, they have like full-time jobs as well. I have one that works really close with me. She just opened a restaurant. I know, shameless plug.
I love new restaurants. What's it called?
She opened a Chicago Bite. It's a Chicago themed restaurant. Really good food, really good environment. And Dr. Crystal Cross, she has been so like essential. And okay, Monique, we need to go this route. And she's actually one of our testimonial stories. Like her son is an example of what we do. Like she came to me like around this time and was like, hey, my son need to get in school. And, I was like, okay, you want him to go or not? And, sometimes parents don't believe until, I'm like, look, trust the process. We get them in school. Grades are good. We really get them in school without you paying. So she is like one of our success stories. So this year, her son returned to school in the fall, not by himself, but with 3 more friends. So we really work hard from September to May in making sure that we secure the scholarships, we secure the best opportunities. And it's really not just getting them in school, but getting them in a school that fits them. You don't want to send somebody to school just for them to be back in December. That's not the goal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, because college, it's not just a place to take classes, but it's a place that where you want to like find people you connect with, right? You make friendships that last for a lifetime. And, and you need to have, you need to feel like you belong. It's part of forming your identity.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we do stress. I always share my story about school because I'm like, oh God, but in order for kids to trust you, you have to be transparent. In order for parents to trust you, they have to see like, why is she so passionate about this? So I guess when I kill both of those stones, both of them are like, hey, Mom, we got to get to here, So we do have a program that actually this Sunday is our first meeting. It's called Scholars on the Move. It's strictly for 11th and 12th graders and their parents. And that's mainly teaching them things that they need to know. It's teaching them financial literacy. It's teaching them correctly how to fill out a scholarship application, what to say in a scholarship interview. And then it's also, if we have athletic teams or people that may have a special skill, teaching them how to make a video that will get past just the general. So we have a lot of things that we are pouring into our young people. We just need our parents and young people to get on board.
Yeah. I know. And then like the communication challenge that we face is that, like parents, they're kind of drawing on their own experiences. Now you are super lucky because you're a legacy, at Wilberforce. So right, your parents are alumni too. So, so your parents were clued in. But like when I went to high school, there were no charter schools in Texas yet.
Oh, wow.
There was no charter school law. I'm that old. And even so, like families with young children now, like maybe there might have only been a handful of charter schools in town, and they maybe they weren't offering the types of education that they wanted. So now there's like, a charter schools in lots of neighborhoods. But people still ask basic questions about how it works. How do you apply? And is there tuition? No, there's no tuition. And, and just like, it's like expanding people's ideas of what's possible. So like when I hear you talk about like what the scholarship options are for students of color, like, I mean, there are these open doors. They just need, some coaching and some ideas from folks like HBCU Futures and your team.
Exactly. And I'm actually an education consultant. So if a school would want me to come and do a workshop about scholarships, I'm open to it. But they would have to probably, go through the process and things like that, and discuss, what that would look like. But you are correct. There are millions of dollars of scholarship money that goes to waste because we just don't apply. Some people look at the application and feel that it's too long. And that's a huge gap that is faced all the time. And I just, I'm trying to be that gap to help them get there because school is expensive. I'm a doctoral student and it is overwhelming at times. I'm looking for money for myself. But I know, like, if they just trust the process, they can get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can you talk more about like sort of like partnerships? I know like we mentioned like UNCF, like so are there other folks that y'all are teaming up with?
Yes, we are actually teaming up. Probably can't really go into details, but be on the lookout of several people that we are teaming up with that are also HBCU alums, just like we did this summer before the scholars went off to school. We teamed up with two other HBCU graduates who also have nonprofits, Monique S and Leon. Oh God, he's gonna kill me because I can't think of his last name right. Leon Fry. He's a Grambling alum and she's a Howard alum. And we teamed up this summer and we did the HBCU send off because I'm like, there's no way. There's no more excuses on why we can't celebrate our kids. And it ended up being a phenomenal event. And the kids were excited. They left alumni. I actually met 3 more Wilberforce graduates. So I was excited because that's rare. So we want to continue having those types of events. And also when they come home in December, we want to celebrate them again, because if you keep that momentum going, it'll make them proud of their school and want to continue doing things. So, and we do have a program within our organization where we send mailings, kind of like care packages. That's one of my favorite things that we do. Although I'm not over it, Mrs. Bright is over that. But what we do is we send care packages to scholars. They have to sign up, of course, but we send them a care package every month. And it's basically just their favorite things. And sometimes Mrs. Bright put in like cards and notes. And the reason why we have come up with that aspect of our program is because I remember being in school. Although, I mean, I hate to admit it publicly, but my parents, they were like over and beyond care packages, and I always had something. And then I would look at my friends and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just share with you because I know you don't have anything. And so I was like, you know what? If I ever get in a position, I'm going to make it so we can fill this void for kids like that. And so it got to the point where I almost wanted a care package. Like, can you make me one? I mean, because the parents were really excited that just when they, you know, hey, I can't send my daughter nothing right now. And out of the blue that happened. So yes, I am that type of leader. I lead with my heart. It gets me in trouble a lot, but it's just what I do. I mean, if it's gonna make their day like that, it's worth it.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine. He helps us out with photography, and he, like, one of the jobs he's had is checking in on alumni of a local school district, and just being like, okay, are you in college? Like, you know, okay, what was the holdup? You know, okay, you need a deposit for your apartment. Okay, we've got a fund for that. Like, just, you know, like figuring out what the holdup is, right? Or like, you know, these kids, if they're at their HBCU and they're, you know, but getting those touch points to know, like you belong here. This is where you're meant to be, right? Like, you know, because I think young people, they question themselves and they say, who am I to be here? You know, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, and so getting messages from home, messages from this, like, this broader community, right? Of like these powerful HBCU alumni, like, you're one of us, you're part of the team. Like, you're going to do important things and we believe in you. Like, that's such a great message.
It is. And I usually go overboard with like the cheering section and all that, because I mean, like, I can't stress it enough. I've been there, you know, I've been that student. I've graduated high school barely. And to get to a place that accept you for who you are and your unique self, mold you. And when you leave, you're an adult, a full-blown adult. And I cannot thank, you know, my school enough for the things that they prepared me for. They also teach you the skills that let you know you do deserve a seat at the table. And if you don't have a seat, make one. Make an opportunity for yourself. And so some people come off like, oh gosh, she's so direct, so this. No, I just have a passion for what I do. And I know if you trust the process, it'll work out. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, okay. So is there any stuff you can kind of preview for us, like things that are coming up? I guess so. There's an event this weekend, but like, are there like longer term plans you can share?
Oh yes, goodness. We have this weekend, we have the Cotton Bowl, and that is pretty much, we're already set for that. Sunday we have Scholars on the Move. I know, probably like, when does she sleep? Scholars on the Move meeting that you can actually sign up through the newsletter, or you can sign up directly on the HBCU Futures webpage. Another thing we have, because I've just noticed there aren't many things for our young people to do. So we do have a skating party coming. The tickets are on Eventbrite. The skating party will be at Skateland on Skateland East or West. I'm sorry. I know it says Skateland. But in that flyer, I think it's in our newsletter as well. We just have a wealth of things, and upcoming, just look out for us for events. Like, I put it in the newsletter usually a month in advance. Then I also do our weekly interviews, which is our podcast on Sunday. Sunday is usually Let's Talk About It. That has been really fun, learning about different people. Sometimes it's my friends, sometimes it's people I absolutely don't know. Then we have Wednesday night. Actually, soon as I leave here, every week we do the HBCU house party, where alums come on. Well, actually, I'm a co-host. Mr. Anthony Brown who's my mentor, and also UNCF National Alum President. He spearheads that, but he also coaches and mentor me. And sometimes it's like, you're throwing me to the wolves, but you know, everybody can grow. And that's, you know, part of this mission and things that I'm doing. Honestly, it came from a conversation with myself and him. And he just was like, are you just going to sit and complain about it, or are you going to get out and do something? And that was when I was in the process of leaving a charter school. And he was like, either you gonna A this or B this. What you gonna do? And so if I had not had that conversation, I promise you, I probably would just be buried in my in my upsets. But it was kind of like, you've been talking about doing this plan for years and you haven't done it. And so I can't thank him enough. And I can't thank the people that actually trust me with their kids enough as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
So see, tell me more about the podcast. Like, what's the name of the podcast?
On Sundays, the podcast is called Let's Talk About It, Journey to Success. I have one upcoming guest that I'm super excited about. Actually, two, because I don't want them to be in there. But one in particular, she is a loctician. She does really, and she created a society. So I can't wait to have her on. And the other, oh my God, it's like one of those friendships that you didn't think would happen. She actually was my principal at the school. And we have become like friends. Anytime I need a shirt, anytime I need some type of apparel, even the tablecloth that I had before this one, she creates those things. Like, and we have become like the best, she'll tell me, hey, Monique, I think you should try this. And for Hispanic Heritage Month, I am going to interview her. So it's like, okay, how do I interview her? I know she's going to give me all the feedback because she was like my boss. She knows me. I can't like fool her on anything. But I'm super excited about her coming on. And so with those two together is going to be a good month for that. The other thing is our other podcast is on Wednesday, as I mentioned. And what we do there is we talk about the schools, we give information about the schools that's on, and then other alum get to share their story. So we have fun. It's house party themed, so kind of laid back, but informative at the same time.
Right. Yeah, it's just so important to keep the conversation going, and getting people together. It's just a great way, and it's so natural, and to hear from alumni firsthand about what their traditions are, right? Do they ever like do their steps on the video?
No, we haven't had any do their steps, but you do hear like the different stories of the different organizations, Greek letter organizations, or you hear the different myths about other organizations like choir and band. Really is about to be really deep too, because we're going into homecoming season. So homecoming season and classics. And so you'll hear a lot of buzz about HBCU bands and whose band is the best. You'll hear a lot about SWAC, MEAC, the different conferences. So yes, it's always exciting. I know some people when I used to like work at schools, they were like, oh my God, how many HBCU shirts do you have? I'm like 100. But if that's what it takes to get the awareness, that's what I'm going to do. So
yeah. Well, your passion comes through. I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you to get this blog post together, and I've really been looking forward to having this conversation because it's information that families need. And I feel like it's just not talked about enough. And so I'm really glad that you and your team are out there, talking about HBCUs, getting HBCU alumni sharing their story. Like you said about the scholars on the move, like getting them, like these practical skills, like filling out the application and, the financial literacy, how to take a video of themselves. And this goes back to what I said about like every decade, every generation has a different set of challenges than the one before. So like, to me, the idea of like, wait, you need a video with your application? Like what? Like that would not have occurred to me. So, but I have a 14-year-old, so I need to start. Yeah, I need to start listening up.
Sign up and start, because it's I know that we stress minorities, but we don't just not work with a certain. I mean, if that makes sense, we help everybody, but know that our target is at HBCUs. So. Right. I mean, we work with everybody.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's a history of injustice that needs to be remedied, and the HBCUs play a really important role in that. And they're creating leaders, who can go to high places in our society and show that people, of color they deserve to be at the head of the table too.
Exactly. Deserve a seat at the table. And often, like we had talked offline, you'll play that role in your head, like, I don't really deserve to sit here. And, and what I'm finding as we grow is like, okay, are you serious? You really want me to sit here with y'all? And that's just the confidence that you get in going to an HBC. They're going to teach you to speak up, stand up, and shut up in that order. So, but it's worth it. It is. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. Okay. Well, I want to reinforce to people like how they can keep in touch with HBCU Futures, and then give you a chance for kind of closing thoughts. So I'm going to pop my banners back up on the screen. So the name of the organization is A Better Chance for Youth Futures, Inc., but it's also ABC Youth Futures. And then that's the website is abcyouthfuturesinc.com. And like you said, there's like the podcast on Sundays and Wednesdays. There's the newsletter. There's the website. So what's your advice for people who want to connect?
People that want to connect, I would say sign up to receive our newsletters. If you're just a parent that wants to connect, if you are a school or of some sort like that, then they can email me through the website. I do get the notifications, and some people are surprised because I reply right back because it comes through my phone and every device that I have. But if that's the case, like we do accept school partnerships, but like I said, that's on a different level. Like there's some paperwork or process that would need to take place for that. We are a 501c3, so we do take a charitable organization. So we do take that, and we have some things coming up and some partnerships with different organizations for the holidays, because our goal, just like this year, our goal was to award a scholarship. So we successfully did it. It was hard work, but we were able to give a $500 scholarship to a very rewarding scholar. He had to write an essay. It was other contestants. But the thing is, it was able to be done. And we did a live broadcast. I couldn't even know because I had too many contestants that I was attached to. So I was happy with the results that the team decided on. But the scholarship was in my deceased sister's name. And I mean, I didn't get emotional like I normally but our family was just so excited because we have been trying, and I don't know, I'm probably out of time, but the scholarship meant a lot because since my sister had died in 2000, that was something that, I was like, she loves kids. I want to do something in her honor that we can leave a memory. And so this year we were able to do it. And it just, I guess you would say my final thought for somebody to be, you're going to get 10 no's before you get one yes. Don't let those 10 no's discourage you from whatever is placed on your heart.
That is really good advice. So just factor in the 10 no's. Don't give up because the yes is just around the corner, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, Monique, it's been a pleasure working with you and talking with you today. And I'm signed up for the newsletter, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on events, and I hope we get to work together again in the future.
Definitely. I have truly enjoyed working with you. If you need me, just reach out. I will make myself available. That's just the type of person I am.
Well, congratulations. I hope have great events, and I hope you can do the scholarship again. And I hope that lots of kids get a chance to attend HBCUs next fall, hopefully with lots of scholarship money.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. All right, we're signing off.